Hey, good morning again. It's Bob Chu from Stewart and Islamorada Boat Works, and this is another latest launch on this chilly December morning. This is our 18 Islamorada skiff. This particular one is on its way to North Carolina, and it's got some really nice features: ice blue hull side, white deck, faux teak tow rail, powered by a 70 Yamaha. So we'll hop on board here and I'll walk you through this beautiful boat. So now on board the 18, we'll start at the bow and work aft. Power pole move trolling motor. Becoming very popular. I'm sure you've seen and heard all about it. Titanium shaft, brushless motor, silent operation, tons of torque. And a little expensive, but that's okay. We're doing plenty of them. And it's on a quick release power pole mount. So then working back, the faux teak tow rail, which, you know, the tow rail is molded into the deck of the boat for keeping fly lines on board and letting you know where your toes are at on getting towards the edge and so forth. But in this case, the faux teak treatment is just for that, you know, little bit of class, that little uniqueness to it. Really awesome. Moving back, we have the forward casting platform with sea deck on top, all textured powder coated black, kind of a little design that I did with the fabricator that this customer liked as well. So yeah, it's got the handrail on the back for assisting getting up and down. It's pretty cool. And yet it's not going to catch any fly line or anything. It's at a height where you can actually just sit your butt down on it, and it's kind of comfortable. You're not literally sitting up on top, but it's yeah, multifunctional, kind of unique arrangement, easily removable. Also, you can get it for the polling platform if you so choose. This customer will have this on sometime, off some of the time. The boat's going to North Carolina. Different applications, so he's had us do a turnbuckle arrangement on the casting platform as opposed to a permanent mount. It does sit here. It also can sit forward without the trolling motor mounted forward. So it does give you that. If you're a pure fly fisherman, you could choose to go that route, or just didn't use a forward trolling motor. You could afford to move the polling platform or casting platform as you chose. Opening this hatch reveals a couple really cool things. The carbon underside of the hatch, it is an option. As you might know, the whole boat is built out of carbon and Negra. However, the hatches are not. They are fiberglass. And this is an option primarily for aesthetics, but obviously it follows the whole theme of the construction of the boat. Two strong gas shots, nice gasket on it. Great access to this huge storage compartment. Again, if you've seen any of the earlier videos about the skiffs, how the fuel tank is recessed below a subfloor here. So it's between stringers, real full-length stringers that the boat has, and it's below the subfloor. So this entire area is available for storage. Now in this case, we consult with each customer as to how they want their trolling motor batteries and chargers installed, which it's all personal preference. So in this case, we have a forward Odyssey 1200 series battery for the motor itself, and here we have a lithium. Actually went 36 volt. Which you can water ski behind this boat probably with the trolling motor, but yeah, a Lithium Pro 36 volt battery here, aft underneath this area. So when you look down, you barely see it at all. Charger here, which is also the power pole charge system. So very compact, very unique, super clean, deep gutters, keeps the water out, really nice. Fuel fill here, 28 gallons of fuel. And yeah, you can lift this with the casting platform on it, no problem, from in the boat or outside the boat, which is cool when you're loading and unloading the boat while it's sitting on the trailer. You probably see the 21-foot stiffy push pole. That's the extreme model. Yeah, it's what he chose. Removable holders for the push pole. So on those days he's not using it, doesn't have the holders in the way. So yeah, it's very, very cool. So now in the cockpit itself, sometime overlook it. I don't know why, but yeah, we're going to take a look here. Undergunnel rod racks. These are actually made out of the same material that we make our transom out of. And then it's got carbon sides on it, C-deck on top. You can choose as to how many rods you want per side, with a maximum of 5 per side going forward and a maximum of 2 going aft. On this particular boat, yeah, he chose 5 going forward, none going aft. Also, from my vantage point, I can see the JL Audio 8.8 speakers. I can see his charger input plug-in spot. Also, he chose for the C-deck undergunnels, which is standard, but some of the customers have opted not to have that. Yeah, and then of course the console. This being the integrated cooler, insulated, drains into the bilge. Super neat, clean. Upgraded upholstery. Again, his choice. Looks great. Now we'll swing around to the back of the console. All right, so moving to the back side of the console, this is our upgraded console option, where this oscillates electrically. Edson wheel option, tilt wheel standard, Yamaha CL5 gauge option, Lenco trim tab switch, typical binnacle on the 70, the 704 Yamaha. Really nice switches that I've not really talked about before, but pretty simplistic, with one available for accessory. They light in different modes depending if they're in use, depending on if it's daytime or nighttime. They also have a function on the back where they go directly to the fuse panel segment. And yeah, so cool deal. Here are the voltmeters for your trolling motor, and so the trolling motor voltmeter here is here. If I had the breaker thrown on in the forward compartment, then you would have your 36 volt reading here. The 12.4, of course, is for the start motor for the 70. Key switch, kill switch, and so forth. Yeah, so pretty straightforward, pretty cool. Also, here's the actuator. "12-inch Simrad." You know, it really functions well. I think we've spent a lot of time figuring the right angle. So if you're standing and running, and with the wheel tilted, more of a rougher water mode, you can still see the screen perfectly at that angle. And if you're running backwater, sit down, it's a nice angle as well. It actually forms a really comfortable backrest as well for the person on the forward console seat. Not intentionally, but it just so happened that it all worked out fine. So, when you're stowing the boat, you don't want people to see it, don't know, it's a safety item, it's a cleanliness, maintenance item, it's out of sight, out of mind. So it's a really cool arrangement. A little costly because there's a lot of man hours in building that and constructing it. Also have down here below, we hang the control for the power pole trolling motor in its little charging bracket. So it's real nice. And on this particular boat, there's no batteries below here. That's his choice, the way he wanted it laid out. So the storage space here, and it's quite large for the size console that is here. Of course, a lift out door, as you're probably accustomed to on skiffs. So yeah, nice layout, unique. Now I'm sitting here looking, and yeah, I want to remember to point out drains in each side of the cockpit, and they're the large drain right out of our 27 Stewart, quite frankly. So, yep. Again, we have another console that's just this height that doesn't open and close, and then we have what we refer to as our tall console, which is standard. That also can hold a flush-mounted 12-inch screen. So looking here at the aft deck of the boat, if you've seen the intro video, you know these cushions remove with zippers real easily. They hinge in the middle, fold, and fit into either one of these outboard aft compartments or the forward compartment, but you know, wherever you choose to put them, but they're out of the way and not flapping on the back of the boat while you're driving the keys or whatever. Moving to the aft deck, again, gas shocked, fiberglass tubs, real nice high quality drain system, removable drain, the carbon finish on the bottom, the deep gutters, wide, deep, yeah, so on both sides of course. Yeah, very, very cool. Then the oversized live well, 35-gallon live well. This is out of the 24 Islamorada. It's ice blue color. It's got a cool drain system and fill system, so you can carry the amount of water you want in there. 5 gallons, 20, 35, whatever your application is. And of course, to point out that the cushions are not over top any of the hatches, so you don't have to deal with that scenario of raising and lowering and coordinating to get where you want to go. Bilge access, awesome. Hinged on the back side, super clean bilge, all very visible. And even though it's a carbon Negra hull, we paint the bilge white so that you can see what few items are in there, but you wouldn't have to deal with a black surface down there. Pulling platform, the step, which is standard, sizable step. You can eliminate that. If you don't want it, you can have it as a flip step if you want it. A lot of variety there. And the textured black powder coat, of course. 2 rod holders, also standard, but you could delete those if you want it. Or maybe they are an option, but either way, you can get this configured the way you want. You can have that sissy bar, a second one here, and so on and so forth. Powered by a 70. A lot of these boats, the first 12 we've sold, probably 8 of them have been powered with a 70. The boat will run, it's 695 pounds fiberglass, or it's actually carbon, of course, but just the hull, the deck, and the cap, and the console, 695 pounds. 6.6 beam, 1710 length. It's got a substantial 9-inch wide pad that runs very far forward, and this boat runs on that pad at a very low speed. So what's that correlate to? 70 is very efficient on this boat. With 2 people on board and full of fuel, you'll see if you look at the Yamaha test, this boat's running wide open right at 40 miles an hour. So with the higher RPM ratings for this motor, you can see the comfort zone on this to be fuel efficient, which means like 8 miles per gallon, or thereabouts, 7 point something. You can run this boat at 28 to 30 miles an hour, two guys on board full of fuel and some gear. Not with the live well full, but yeah, in that capacity, pretty impressive for that 70. And of course, if any of you have heard of 70 or owned a boat with one, you know, a really, really quiet 4-stroke motor for this boat. Now, the boat is rated to 150, and we will be doing a couple 115s here, a couple 115 Yamaha shows, and we're actually starting the build process on our first one of these with a 150 show on the boat. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs. But this is basically it. Float-on trailer, Ameritrail trailer is available. Of course, any color you choose to match anything you want, a bigger boat or your truck or whatever the case is. And I think for an all-purpose rough water skiff that in this configuration drafts 7 inches full of fuel, it's a pretty remarkable boat. Come see our fit and finish. We'd love to build one for you someday. Thank you for watching.